Hey guys, so that intro ended a little bit abruptly there. I didn't do my homework here. I was going to do some. Was going to get some pages up here that I could share to kind of share some things here with you guys. But yeah, tonight we're going to talk about some DevOps stuff, or what it is to me to what DevOps means to me. So I've been using Linux for quite a long time, probably 25 years or so. And lately, if you want to get a job at some huge place like Comcast or Google or Facebook or somewhere, there's they put things into put people into categories. So you're going to be a developer or operations. DevOps is what some people like to think is the people who kind of pull all that stuff together. So we're going to go over some of the tools that we use in the DevOps world. And in my case, I usually try to think of it as infrastructure. And you're working with the developers because they're saying, hey, we have this application we're going to use, and we need this much memory, this much CPU. We think we need storage. We need some kind of vault or somewhere to for secrets. And then how are you going to get that deployed? Are you using like a CI/CD kind of application like Circle CI or GoCD or GitHub Actions? Yeah, and then what kind of tools you're going to use to build it? You're going to be using Terraform, most likely. To update things like some VMs you have out there, you're probably going to be using some Ansible or Puppet. Puppet's good. I haven't used Puppet in a little while, but it's a good tool. But yeah, if you're hanging out here, just say something in the chat there. There's also put up a little bit of a poll. What's everybody's favorite tool to use? We have Terraform, Ansible, Puppet, and other. So I don't know. I don't know. It only gave me the four things. I was gonna put some more in there. But yeah, most likely you're going to be using something like Kubernetes. You can use Terraform to kind of build that out. Yeah, we can go through some examples. And this is, and let me go back over here. I don't have anything really set up. I thought I had some stuff set up from last time I did a live, but I don't. So we're gonna have to just do it kind of as we go. And you know what? StreamYard now allows you to put some music on as well. So we're gonna try this. I don't know. Give that a shot for a minute. See how it goes. Anyway, yeah, if you're watching, say something in the chat. We don't bite. And then we're going to replay this. I'll link it over on Linux.org. We can put it up there. So the main thing I think I want to go over is, let me find a good thing here, is Terraform. That's probably what we use most of the time. And I want to try to find some basics here. And you can use Terraform in your whole infrastructure through framework like Azure or AWS. Right now, past probably 4 or 5 years, I've been working with Azure. So we're gonna probably go through that a little bit. And let's see if we can find something through here. And also ask some questions in the chat. Let's go through, see if I can find an example. I don't want to bring up anything from my work because probably not a good thing. I'm just going to find something, configure a VM with Terraform. All right. Let me see if I can share this tab here. And it's not too crazy right now. It looks like there's only about 2 people in in here, but that's all right. I'm gonna use this to replay it later. All right, so now you guys can probably see that. We can go through this a little bit. So this is just from Azure's site, looking through some things if you want to build a basic VM. So you're going to have the Terraform, the providers.tf. It's going to have the version you want to have. You're not going to spend too much time on that. You're just going to basically copy that over to everyone you're going to use. And then as you go through, you can build the different aspects of your virtual machine. It's not just a VM. It's going to be the VM. It's going to be in a resource group. So you're going to either create or hop onto a resource group. If you're hopping onto one already, this is instead of resource, it's going to say data, and it'll go out and see that. Yeah, so we have resource. We're going to create one called resource group, rg-name. Went through, you got the virtual network you're going to create, subnet on there, public IPs. Yeah, there's lots of things. You got network security groups. This is where you want to pull in, say if you want to have, in this instance, you're opening up port 22 for SSH. So you want to make sure you make that security rule. And there's so much documentation out there for Terraform. It's crazy. Yeah, but then again, it's not just a virtual machine. You're creating the network interface here. Then you're gonna tie in that network interface to the security group. You have a storage account here. And there's just, basically, you can take something like this, get some space on Azure or AWS or somewhere, and you can go through and just kind of follow this along. Here's where you're naming the VM. With your admin username, this is where you put the SSH key. Now you can see here TLS private key example. That's going to be listed here, probably in the variables somewhere. See, it's kind of cool with the background music. So the output TF is kind of cool. Once you run a plan, or once you run the apply, you're going to see these things get printed out. So it's like they're going to show you the resource group name, the public IP, that way you can connect to it with SSH. The private key. Weird. You can run a Terraform init once you have all that set. And then you can run a Terraform plan. I never do this out main.tf plan. I just do a Terraform plan. And that'll show you all the changes it's going to make. Yeah, if you're not familiar with Terraform yet, you got to get into it. It's super fun. Yeah, it's fun to use. But you can make things. All right, let me see if I can find. One thing I wanted to show was Cloud Init, which is really cool. And you can do that within Terraform as well. All right, let me get out of this guy. Let me turn down. Hey, David. Yeah, it's kind of a quiet night here. Looks like David G. Tom's Food Factory is there. Yes, what they do with planets. That's right, Tom. All right. I'm getting tired of this music, though. Let me switch back to that page. I'll turn it down a little bit. You're good night driving. Let's try that one. Might be a little bit better. All right, let me share a different page here. Stop screen, share screen. Oh yeah, so Cloud Init. I love Cloud Init. All right, so Cloud Init is so cool. All right, it's almost like you're creating a VM, Right. So this is what happens. You create a VM with Terraform or something, and then Cloud Init is another file that you kind of import, and you're like, hey VM, after you're done being built, run all this cool stuff, and it's awesome. It's almost like running Ansible on it as soon as it's like taking away that Ansible step. Sometimes people build up a bunch of VMs and they're like, all right, we're going to run Ansible on all our Nginx VMs or Apache or whatever, or all the database VMs. We're going to run this Ansible against them. You don't need to. Just use Cloud Init. All right. So Cloud Init, you can create users. You can do anything. So in the past, what I've used it for is not creating users, but installing software, changing configs on things. So you can install Nginx, let's say, and then you can put in your own config for that Nginx as well. You can add repositories, install, SSL stuff. If you're running Ubuntu, you can add apt repositories. Commands on first boot. So here, boot command, you're going to echo this into your IT hosts to make sure that this machine knows that this is the IP for us.archive.ubuntu.com. So use that however you want. Yeah, you can write to whatever file you want. You can boot command. You can run any command you want. You can have it, run an NTP command against your favorite time server or whatever you want. Let's see. Yeah, this is popular here. Installing arbitrary packages. So, you can install right here. They're installing pwgen and pasteb init, but maybe you have some, proprietary packages that you guys use at work, and you want to make sure that they're on everything. Like say you're using Nagios or Zabbix or something, for health monitoring. So you can use this Cloud Init to install whatever that agent is, whether it's Zabbix agent or the Nagios guy. Have him get installed, and then use write the actual config files that point to your Nagios server. So it right off the bat, it just pops right up. This is called Cloud Init. Usually it's cloud-init, but yeah, you can. So if you add a disk, for Terraform, you can use this to go ahead and find that disk. Partition it out, create file systems, mount it, add it to the FS tab, everything. Add users, add their SSH keys. There's so much you can do with this. So yeah, I would look into Cloud Init if you haven't already. Let's just get back to the chat here. So Tom, let me get back out of sharing here. All right, so you missed the first part. It's Terraform for virtual machines or snaps or Dockers. So Terraform, I've used it for virtual machines out in Azure land. You can use it for basically anything. You can look through the Terraform modules. I'm sure you can use it for snaps or Docker as well. But yeah, I mostly use it for Azure, for actual VMs, or if you want anything basically in Azure, you can create storage accounts, or AWS. Storage accounts, probably DNS settings, VNets, subnets, set up Vault, insert some secrets into it that you have. Basically it's a file. You build it out, and it's pretty cool. My dog's whining at the window here. Let's see, we're about 20 minutes in so far. So I probably won't go too long tonight. It's kind of an intro and getting some ideas for what we can talk about in the future here. But it looks like what we talk about. Terraform, Cloud Init. I love Cloud Init. Ansible, I actually worked with at work this past couple weeks. I don't have two. Let me see if I can find a good Ansible example to go over. Now, Ansible I use basically if something's already built, like say you have some VMs out there, like say you have a dozen VMs, and you want to make sure that they all have the same config file for Nagios or for the NTP server or for anything. So I'm scrolling through here, see what I can find. Or make sure Apache's latest version. Here we go. Share screen. All right, so if you can see this guy. I don't know if this is too small. But so here's an example Ansible playbook. See it, name, playbook, hosts, web servers. So you have a host file, and you have that categorized out. You have, probably a dozen servers in the web servers category. Become means you want to sudo up, and the become user is root. Tasks. So here's where we go through to the meat and potatoes. So this one is ensure Apache is the latest version. This is a CentOS machine, looks like, because it's using Yum or Red Hat. So you want to make sure HTTPD is the latest. So it'll go through and it'll say, hey, is there an update for Apache on this machine? And then the other thing here, ensure Apache is running. So that's when you go into the service name, HTTPD, and make sure that's started. Now that's not to enable it at boot though. That's just to make sure it's running as you run this. So if you wanted to make sure this was running on boot, you would do something like instead of service, I think it would say systemd, name HTTPD, and then status might be enabled. I think that's what it is. I actually did that in a ticket this past week. Oh, here we go. Now they're explaining it. So yeah, here's the name of the playbook, host group name, the sudo or run as different user, and then the actual tasks to run. And as you can imagine, you can do pretty much anything with Ansible as well. You can go through and just update everything in the world. You can update, make sure that certain packages are updated. You can make sure, you can see, I look into barbecue stuff because it's showing me a charcoal ad from Tractor Supply. Let's see if there's anything more fun on this page. Create Apache directory as usernames. Yeah. So Ansible, I always picture as something that you run on servers that are already out there and running. And it's always something that that's out there. But yeah, this is going to be a quick one. I was hoping to get some questions from the chat and kind of go off on that a little bit as well. But yeah. So far, Terraform is winning the poll. I don't know who voted for that one. But yeah, I love Tractor Supply too. And I guess I got one of their cookies. That's what they're showing me now. All right, cool. So I'm going to end this out. I think if as long as I do this every Thursday, we can start going later and later, and I'll actually put together kind of a game plan, and we'll put together some good learning. So, oh, maybe because I didn't know what they were. Yeah, I know, David. I figured. All right, everybody. Yeah, so I'm trying to bring this channel back to life. I'll see you guys next Thursday, and I'll find something cool to talk about. But yeah, thanks for hopping in, and we'll see you next Thursday. See ya.